former apprentice jockey is in an induced coma after a fall at Wangaratta.
An investigation is underway following the horrific fall during
Stephen
this
Brown
morning's
Jr. was flown to Royal Melbourne Hospital in a critical condition after he came off during a practice
Our heart
session.
goes out with them, and they've got a tough road ahead right at the moment while they see how Stevie is.
It was just the worst day of my life. I don't think they expected him to live.
If I had have died that day,
still hurts.
When Stevie was younger, people used to think he was a bit of a mute. He didn't really talk a lot. And they'd say, oh, can this kid talk? But it was just him, and his dad was a bit the same way. So he never really talked a lot. From a young age, he's always wanted to ride. He's not happy until he's on a horse. Could never say he didn't love to ride. Something he's always wanted to do is to ride. You ask anyone that knows him, he's the happiest person when he's on the back. Just totally different.
I rode for 35 years and had about 5,000 rides, rode over 1,000 winners, and never broke a bone in my body. I had a few falls, but his explanation to that was, you know, when they'd say, why do you want to be a jockey? Like, it's a dangerous sport, you don't want to be doing that. He'd just say, well, look at my dad, never broken a bone. So he's a tall boy. I tell everyone he just folds up like a pocket knife. Or he has to, because he's 6'3", so that's pretty tall for a jockey. He'd probably have to be one of the tallest jockeys in the world.
His best day, and meant a lot for us because we're from Darwin, and one of Darwin's main race meetings is the Palmerston Sprint. And he rode 3 winners on that day and battled one of the races out with Huey Bowman. And Huey was on our horse and Stevie won the race on something else. When he got off, he did say, sorry, Dad.
Was he slack? Mate, he didn't like doing anything, eh? He didn't like picking up horse dung. All he wanted to do was ride. Like, he's not, even now, like, he's not happy till he's on a horse.
This angry horse is called Windsor. This is another little filly by Shalar. They're producing a few good horses, so the Shalars, or in like that. Sorry, baby. This horse is called Heavenly Emperor. He's proven himself as a city class horse. And this horse is called Heavenly Eagle. He's also proven himself and is a city class horse. Nice horse. Tends to not agree with you. Yeah. Can be a bit funny. Get off.
And as I said, you know there's dangers in racing. He's never had a bad accident before.
When Stevie fell off, or when his horse dislodged him, I still ride jump outs. I was going to go up and ride him, and Stevie said, no, I'll go, Dad. So, you know, he needed someone to go with him, so Alicia went with him, my wife, and I was so glad that she did, you know.
September 2019, the 18th to be exact, him and I took 3 horses to Wangaratta jump out, And he rode the first two, and then the third one, yeah, jumped out and just broke a leg, and he went down and someone went over the top.
We were just going to drive out the gate and Alicia rang and she was in hysterics, you know, so I knew straight away. I couldn't understand what she was saying, but I knew. Yeah. Still hurts. So it was the first I knew, but I'm so glad that she was there. If I had gone with him, yeah, and she was doing something else and she wasn't there, it would have been pretty tough, I think. I don't think we'd be together today, anyway, so, yeah.
If I had have died that day, I don't think Mum and Dad would be here right now. As sad as it sounds, I can't remember anything. I remember patches from a year before the accident and like up until a year after the accident. Like everything in between is a little bit patchy. A brain injury, bleeding on the brain, a few broken bones in my neck, 2 punctured lungs, broken ribs, but yeah, it hit my mum pretty hard. You know, she was at the hospital every day for almost 4 months. She was at my bedside every day. I was in a coma for 3.5 weeks. It hit her really hard.
Then you get to the hospital and, you know, everything happens there and they call you into the room and tell you what's going on, and then it was tough again. And his dad, when he was on the track, I was running to him.
Like I said, I couldn't understand what she was saying, but I knew straight away. She was the first one out there, and you know, when she was talking about it later, you know, it wasn't good. Even the doctors said, I don't think he's going to pull through, but we always knew that he would.
And then once he got to hospital later that day, sort of when all your emotions, you know, let go, I suppose. You just focus on, let the ambos do their job, and really inside you're just praying. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. It was just the worst day of my life.
It makes me want to cry a little bit, actually. It's pretty sad. For a mother to see their child like that,
thumbs up.
It's pretty heartbreaking.
Yeah,
Cry.
nice. Well done.
No, I guess you probably can't even imagine it, what she's feeling. Like it would have been awful.
Stop and look at Mum. Have a rest. Look up at me. Look up at me. Look up. Keep going. Keep going.
Yeah, to see her, you know, her only son like that would have been pretty traumatising.
Every day it was trying to just hope that you'd get another sign someone was still alive, you know, behind the eyes. And then he opened his eyes and he would be looking around, but nothing, no one was there. I sat in the ICU every day and got to read all the screens, and it's just nerve-wracking. I just can't describe, you know.
My dad, he would have liked to have been there every day, but you know, obviously we still had horses and work, so he had to look after the horses, and he couldn't really make it as much as he would have liked.
Alicia spent most of the time up at the hospital. It was really hard for me to go there. I'm not a real emotional person, but when it comes to things like that, you know, your close family, it gets a bit tough. Yeah.
So there's a couple of his mates. And that's his dad and myself. Oh, and they put a thing in his head to measure the brain pressure. But see there, like, he still was not compass there. They used to sit him in a chair just to get him out. Like, it's hard to believe, isn't it? Have a look. He couldn't speak to you, couldn't do anything. He was just nothing.
I'm not scared of death, but I'm scared of the people around me, of the people that I'm going to leave behind, like my mum and my dad, my 2 sisters. You know, because I enjoy being with them. I like watching them grow. And I guess they like watching me grow, so yeah. I'd be sad to take that away from them, so. Yeah, most of the people around me tell me I can't ride again or I shouldn't ride again. But you know, persistence prevails, so it probably made me realise that things can change at the snap of a finger. You know, my whole life changed in 30 seconds. My whole family's life changed in 30 seconds, so. The accidents made me a lot more sort of grateful for my family, everyone around me, and for my life. You know, I'm just happy to be here. Just glad that I'm alive. Yeah.
They're in the gate. Racing, Frenzy Loon, Victorine fast out of the machine. Nevaez goes to head them off. Wackamana began well, getting right up behind the leader, and wide out on the track going forward. Inverell, 2 lengths away is My Brother's Keeper, and last of all as they sort their order out, Brasada. 600 metres to go. Nevaez quickens down, led by a length Victorine, 2 lengths away Wackamana. Philadelphia Storm bustled along, Touch of Navy with a run. My Brother's Keeper, Frenzy Loon, and Brasada best of the rest as they turn. In the running, Nevaez clear. Wackamana's got a chance now. She's a length away and closing in fast and hits the lead. Touch of Navy wide out goes after her. Philadelphia Storm the centre, and My Brother's Keeper running on well. Wackamana forward on. My Brother's Keeper went to second and he's coming fast. My Brother's Keeper going after Wackamana. Wackamana in front. My Brother's Keeper draws level, puts his big head in front and wins the money a nose. My Brother's Keeper from Wackamana.